Can I tell you a secret? The best classroom management strategy is not something that you find on Pinterest. It's not something that you find on a behavior chart, not even a reward system. The best classroom management strategy is trust. And today we're going to talk about the strength of having a strong relationship with your students starting off this new school year. Welcome to another episode 2 of Teacher Talks with Dr. J. And I want to talk about the power of relationships. Now, this is something that is very near and dear to my heart because I know for my career, my 15 years, on my 15th year, of being an educator, I would not have made it if I had not found this fact out, that relationships definitely matter. So today we're going to talk about how do you build those strong relationships that really impact your student learning, and why do some students seem willing to work harder for one teacher than another? Now, how many times have you said that? You looked at your colleague and said, no, they did not do that for that teacher, and they would not do a thing for me. We're going to talk about that today. So my first point is that students learn from teachers that they trust. Above all else, think about it. You have a classroom full of students and come in your class. You set the temperature. So how they come in your class lets you know a lot about how your day is going to go in that classroom. So it starts in the beginning of the school year. It starts with setting those norms. So I'll talk about myself. I'm fortunate enough to not be in the classroom. You guys know from the last episode that I'm now implementation coach. So I've kind of got the best of both worlds of supporting teachers and work with parents and administrators. But my thing for the first week of school was when we set all those routines and things of that nature, I had one motto. My motto was, I believe that you deserve respect, but I deserve respect and I demand it as well. And that kind of set the tone. I said, listen, I don't want to yell at you. I would ask the students, how many people your parents yell at you at home? And everybody in the classroom's hands went up. Everybody's parents yelled at them. So I let them know in the beginning that that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted them to know that I expected and knew that they were capable of doing what I asked them to do, but they would be treated with dignity and respect. I also wanted them to know that I would always listen to what they had to say. Now, this is something that I had to learn over time because I am a black mama. So it's quick to say, I turn around, who you think you're talking to? And I've said that a time or two early in my career, but as time went on, and I would reiterate that every day, you know that I don't want to yell at you. I believe that you are able to listen to what I have to say. And I would ask them if they would have those behaviors even in the first week. Now, are we being respectful to each other? And, giving kids warning signs and things of that nature. So, because I was very, very, very adamant about what I demanded from them and what I was going to give them, it helped them know that I was going to be different from maybe their other teachers. Not that I wanted to be different, because I want us all to teach them well. Teach them well and let them lead the way. It's what Whitney Houston said, right? But I wanted to make sure that they knew that they had a voice in my classroom. And I tell you this, guys, those students, as I was consistent in reminding them that I wasn't going to do it, and my behavior showed that. And this is after the first week, maybe week 3, where, the honeymoon stage is worn off and they try you. Now we're in the try you stage. They want to see, can they press your buttons? They want to see, are you going to be the kind of educator that they can run off? Because some of these students at some of these schools, they haven't had permanent teachers. They have substitutes, and they make it their business. It's like they all come together and have a class meeting without the teacher being there and say, we're going to run this substitute off. Now, if you're a teacher in a building that has a lot of subs, I'm telling the truth with this. So you want to make sure that you set those norms, and you'll see when they're in the try me stage, you let them know, I know what you're trying to do and it's not going to work. You say it in the most respectful way. Another strategy that you can do is to definitely pay attention to those students who are doing the right thing. Now, I'll tell you this. Fear of missing out is a real thing, even as kids. They don't want to be the one not being recognized for doing the right thing or just having their name called at all, because for some of them, they just want that attention, any means necessary. But if you tell to the kids, okay, I see you. I like how you held your pencil. I like how you raised your hand before you blurted out that answer. Yeah, they recognize that, and they see how you treat others in the class, and they want that from you as well. I remember if there was a student in my class, again, I had a smaller class, all because of special education. I had the resource class, which was actually my favorite because I could give the individualized teaching. But I had a student who came to us from an alternative school. He was Latino, and you could tell that he's used to running a classroom. And he would do little things to press my buttons. And I did a lot of what we as teachers call planned ignoring. It took everything within me. I had to take big gulps of my water so I wouldn't respond to the student. But I used those strategies, like I just said, as far as recognizing those babies who were doing the right thing. And I remember there was one time he really made me mad, and he knew he did. So I asked him after class to stay after class. And I had a question. I said, why do you make these choices? He kind of said these things. And so we were kind of working through our thing. And a few days later, I asked him, I said, what do you know about me? And he said that you understand who I am. And you guys, that was a turning point in our relationship. I never had another issue from him. And what I chose to do, because I love to play music, and it would be clean music, of course, but I would play jazz, and I would have like student choice. So if the students did what they wanted to do, I would have them be the DJ. And so he would play Latino music and tell me the history of the artist. And he knew that I love music too. And I would tell him how much I loved it. And I would ask him to translate what they were saying. And it was just a way for us to build a connection. My point in sharing that, guys, is that they need these little things to know that you see them, that you understand them, and that you want to get to know who they are. Now, building those relationships doesn't mean that you're lowering any expectations. I promise you. If anything, it reinforces the fact that you have those expectations. Now, I'll say this in special education, and I'll get to it in future episodes, but yeah, there are some, myths that we have in special education to where students can't learn. And so, along with building those relationships, I would let those students know that I know that you can do this. Now, it was my job to make sure that they learned in a way that they understood. It was my job to differentiate the materials, and it was not going to be the same for every student, and having these different ways that students could access this content the best way. But yeah, when you say this and you have these high expectations, and you recognize when they meet those high expectations, they know that you believe in them. They know that their teacher genuinely cares about them, and they know that they can raise up to that bar. Whatever's set above them, they can attain it. So building a relationship doesn't mean that you're becoming your student's best friend. It means that you're becoming their trusted adult, and everyone needs that. Another thing I want to bring up is, what does trust actually look like? So it doesn't require hand gestures. Often it's the consistent, everyday interactions that matter the most. So you might have a secret handshake when they come in the room. We should be standing at our doors to greet them. That's the first thing, greeting them. There is nothing worse than students coming to a class with the teacher sitting behind the desk, or they're getting things together, and they're not being greeted when they come in the room. When you meet them at the door, it lets them know that, number one, you mean business, but it also lets them know that they're welcome into a space where they can be who they are. So some teachers like to do handshakes. Some like to do high fives. Some students like to have nicknames. Who knows? But yeah, those things definitely help. Listening before you correct. So it's easy to go off. It's easy to blow up. They actually expect it from some teachers to they're going to pop off. They're going to crash out. That's what they like to say now. But actually really getting an understanding. And that's something that I like to do with my students. I want to know why you behave that way. Why did you make that choice? Because there's always a reason. I know I'm a parent first, and I had to do it with my own children. I had to make sure that I understood why they did what they did, because sometimes it was something going on at home. Sometimes it was something that happened outside of the class. Sometimes it was something that happened in the hallway. Sometimes it was something that was set off in the class right before yours. You never know. But getting understanding and letting them know, hey, it's okay to say I need a breather. You don't have to, take 5 minutes. You need to put your head down. Do you need a doodle for a few minutes? Those kind of things let them know that they're empowered to do what they need to do, and they can reset their brains and get back to work. Being consistent with your expectations. We should all have a class expectations chart. And I learned in one of my years that point at that chart. You don't have to say a word, point at the chart and say, this is what we agreed upon, and this is what we're going to do. Definitely showing empathy, because again, students go through a lot, especially in our district. We are in the urban district, and students see a lot on their way to school. They see a lot before they leave their house. They see a lot when they enter the school doors. So showing empathy when you can see that your students are going through something. You got to know who they are. If they're acting off, you know something's not right with my baby. So what are we going to do about it? And celebrating their growth, not just like mastery achievement. If they make one small step, make it a big deal. They see that. So those little small moments matter when you are trying to develop those strong relationships. And I'm telling you guys, it makes your class go 100 times smoother. So why do relationships matter even more in the inclusive classroom setting? And what that is when there's a pullout where students are able to push into a class. So where someone like me as a special education goes into the general education classroom. So it really matters when you want to acknowledge those student strengths, because when you build those relationships, even in that bigger setting, you are able to really motivate those students. You are able to recognize those triggers. So you can see when little baby over here is already set boo-boo off over here. When you know your students, you are able to kind of get in front of that. Maybe you can pull that student out and have them take a breather. Maybe it's like talk about choices before you go into the class, because you know the routines of students. You can see what their motivators are. Some students are intrinsically motivated, which means they have the power within themselves. They want to achieve well. And some are extrinsically motivated, which means they gonna need a piece of candy. They gonna need a pat on the back. They gonna need a sticker on that piece of paper. So you'll be able to see those motivators. And you'll be able to see effective supports. So as you're dealing with these students in the inclusive setting, you can say, okay, this didn't work yesterday, so let's see if we can try this today. You can even have conversations with your students about that to say, hey, what works best for you? And that'll help you support them best. When we make those relationships and the students know they can trust you, they will perform to the best of their ability to make you happy and themselves happy. So yeah, we have to make sure that we have those authentic relationships in the inclusive or co-teaching classrooms. So those are just a few points that I wanted to discuss. And I also wanted to give you a challenge. As we're entering the new school year, I want you to be intentional. Be intentional about learning one thing about each of your students. And I know some of you guys are like, I have over 130 students. I have 20 students in each class. I have 30 students in each class. I get it. So ways you could do that, during the first week, you're getting to know yous, that's really for you. Yeah, you want to get to know who they are, but take note of that. See what they like. See what they want. Listen with intentionality. Make sure that you are really taking a breather. I know you want to give instruction from bell to bell, but sometimes they need that minute to really just talk about who they are and have those small moments of connection to be sure that you're building those relationships. So students may forget the lesson you taught, but they'll always remember how safe they felt in your classroom. So until next line, keep leading. Until next time, keep leading with purpose. Keep teaching with heart, and remember, every conversation has the power to change a classroom. I'll see you next time on Teacher Talks with Dr. J.